So our next presenter here today is On My with the Nomadic Opportunity Pearl Fund. This is a multi-asset healthcare operating business fund. So I'm going to turn it over now to On My to introduce his fund and his team. Take it away, please.
Thanks, Jimmy. A couple of weeks ago, I was on your podcast and I heard about this pitch day. So, I'm pretty amazed that the universe answered, and here we are pitching our first fund on your pitch day.
Glad to have you here.
With me, I have Lian Pham from Wellness for Humanity, and Brian Phillips, who's the fund manager, and he also is the one of the first venture capital funds in the nation with the Pearl Fund. Our fund is basically focused on, let's see. It's based on health and wellness and COVID-19. Our MTP is making the world a healthier and safer place. Okay, so the global wellness economy is currently valued at $4.5 trillion and growing. In an article in Forbes magazine, Scott Nelson said the development of an immense international wellness market may reflect consumers' changing relationships with their healthcare. Perhaps more than ever, people are prioritizing lifestyle, taking health into their own hands, and spending money on their well-being. A little bit about us. I'm from a hospitality background. We're opening a sustainable market in Houston, Texas called Railway Heights. Lian Nguyen is the catalyst for Peak Space and Wellness for Humanity. And of course, I'll introduce you guys to Brian Phillips. He's gonna be managing our fund. So some major points about our fund is $25 million. We have 5 identified investments, including 5 to 10 more to come. We're primarily an operating business with a little bit of real estate. A minimum investment is $100,000, 10-year exit. And then we also have a qualified small business stock tax benefit that Brian can explain a little bit more. Brian, do you want to mention that real quick, or do you want to?
Sure, I'm happy to. So one of the nice things about doing Oz Venture is that on the business ones that you invest in the fund, if there's an exit before the 10-year window, but after 5-year, you can use the QSBS, which gives 10 times your investment tax-free up to 10 million. Also, it doesn't require capital gains investment. So what we do is we have it as both an opportunity zone fund and qualified as a qualified small business stock fund. So depending on when the exit is and what the capital coming in, we can give tax advantage benefits for both types.
And that's section 1202, is that right?
Yes,
Brian?
Right. IRC 1202.
For those who are tax geeks,
thank you, Jimmy.
go read section 1202. It's fascinating. But go ahead.
Thanks, Brian.
Yep. Go ahead.
All right. So the first company we're going to highlight, Lian's going to speak to. She's the CEO of Wellness for Humanity. And when COVID hit, we kind of pivoted from our health and wellness business that we were working on to help come up with some solutions for the crisis. Lian?
Hi, I'm Lian Pham. I'm CEO of Wellness for Humanity. And as On mentioned, we were working on a health and wellness project and decided to pivot our testing portion of the project. And our goal is to become the gold standard for personalized health and test 1 billion tests globally by 2026. Our first step was rolling out nationwide test centers. We currently are in Atlanta, Miami, Honolulu, Houston, about to launch, we're also in Boulder and about to launch San Jose. The idea of these to help facilitate corporate testing, which is also our focus. We provide an end-to-end solution, and we broke this up by test, verify, and track. Basically, you can go to from your portal for your mobile or online. You can order tests to your home or order to your work and visit any of our clinics. We also partnered with TrustPass, which is our tech platform, to help verify and track. Here I have our CTO and CEO of TrustPass to kind of go over the details.
Thank you so much. Yeah, so going into TrustPass, the idea for connecting, test, verify, and track, a little bit about how science and technology comes together. Test, verify, and track to get at
Hey, Josh, you're breaking up.
corporations the need of end-to-end service. So being able to connect at home or at work or at a clinic testing. TrustPass has a rapid antigen home test that could be used at home, school, or work. And then being able to verify that you were taking that test with a QR code, that verification, and then tracking that with a dashboard for a CEO to see their whole company or school, wherever that may be. So the end-to-end solution, and then also post-pandemic, understanding how that connects to other medical devices, wearables, other things that have data sources, and then tracking those data sources to have data insight. Especially post-vaccine, being able to say who has antibodies, who doesn't, who took the vaccine, who doesn't. I think being able to manage a workforce is going to be very needed, and the wellness of a company is going to be very crucial for the future of humanity. So that's a little bit about how the integration of TrustPass and wellness.
Thanks, Josh.
Thank you, Josh. The next slide. Okay, here we're just illustrating our corporate clients. Our focus is corporation, islands, and events. An example, we're talking to Delta and the hotel group IHG to help facilitate open the headquarters in Atlanta, which is 31 floors. How do we get everybody back to work safely? And how do we help facilitate the airlines ship test kits to the rural areas or areas that have long turnaround testing? Another group that we are talking to are the different islands. Besides Honolulu, we're also talking to Guam, Palau, and Tonga. And these are just examples of how do we get tourism back up. Events, we're pretty focused on music festivals and different types of festivals, whether that's small gatherings. We're also working with Tony Shea on his smaller group testing in Park City, which is like a daily testing to get his gathering and workshops back up.
What about baby bathwater?
Yes, and we have a surf event that we're doing today in California, and we're actually doing that for baby bathwaters.
Great.
In about 30 to 45 days, we're rolling out our vending machines. We partnered up with the same group that provides vending machines for CVS and Best Buy. It's the same ones you see at all the airports. And the idea here is to have a very accessible test for home kits, saliva home kits and antigen home kits, and then your basic PPE. And we see this basically everywhere in the airport or even at corporations where if they need to fly, and it's very easy for them to access a test kit without standing in line. Our two focus are any kind of test kit that we're able to send to the house, similar to Everlywell. Here we have the saliva home test kits, and we not only send it individually, but send them in packages of 100, 500, and 1,000 to corporations. The great thing about the saliva, it's self-administrated, so you don't need to hire a nurse to do it, but we also help facilitate that with the large corporations. We're also in the last stage of the EUA for the rapid antigen home kit. And this is, you won't need a lab, and it's 15 minutes results, and you're actually detecting the virus. And so this is basically the next step, the next test that we're going to be coming out soon.
So basically you could ship all across the country with these tests?
Yes, yes.
Healthcare professional?
Exactly. Yes, my daughter has done it. It's very easy.
That's amazing. What does the future look like?
Okay. Yeah, so COVID is more like our stepping stone. The future of how we see wellness is being able to facilitate and get our foot in the door, and then being able to easily switch out test different type of tests, whether that's DNA, STD, microbiome, or metabolic, are the different tests that we see ourselves and how we're going to position ourselves. Here is a portal we made for the hotel group, IHG. And here you can see that we made it to where the idea is to brand it for the company so they feel like they have a virtual concierge, health concierge, or virtual clinic. They can easily reorder tests, book a health concierge at any time, and you can order a nurse on demand. Here's their portal that they can literally order the test, verify, and track. You can see the dashboard below, how you can utilize this by seeing all the different locations, their safety protocol score, the health of their company, and which area has a peak. And this helps manage all of their locations. And in the future, the way we see this is the score is more of a health score. So post-COVID, this might not be so much of a safety protocol score, but a health score. And how does that correlate, the individual personalized health? How does that help with their actual, what are they producing for the bottom line of the company is where the data will show.
Amazing. All right, so the second company that we want to spotlight is Peak Space. Peak Space was the health and wellness concept that we were working on prior to COVID, and our partner Pavel is one of the biggest franchisors in Orange Theory, and so he's going to be leading this venture. The thing about Peak Space is that it focuses on biohacking, and biohacking is kind of like taking health and wellness into your own hands using science and technology. So very much aligned with the quote that I showed you guys earlier on, focusing on health, recovery, detox, brain health, beauty, anti-aging. Some stuff that you guys may be familiar with is cryotherapy, red light, there's NanoV, there's NAD, IV boost, ozone. And as more technology comes out, we would integrate those as well. And so here's some more information about that. And this project will actually be a franchise, and it will be a brick and mortar and also a container park. We're actually working on a container park proof of concept right now. And you can see how this could integrate with different verticals, hotels. Actually, Lian, can you go over a couple of the hotels that you're currently talking to?
Yes, we're actually talking to Coronado in San Diego, and also a hotel group in Maui. The idea is to take down about 10 rooms and creating Peak Space. Within Peak Space, we will have other different health businesses like Orange Theory, but the idea is to create a space for health and wellness as an amenity for these hotels.
So you'd be treating it almost like a food hall almost.
Exactly.
Great. In addition to hotels, you have, of course, the standalone brick and mortar, offices and co-working, and luxury apartments. This is the third portfolio company that we're going to highlight. It's called Whatever Fresh. And the idea is that it's changing the way we eat. Whatever Fresh has two main principles. The first one is that it will source first with healthy foods and total transparency. And so what that means is, most restaurants start with a concept creation, then it creates a menu, and then it sources the ingredients. Well, this causes a lot of inefficiencies, which is compensated by using cheaper ingredients to offset the cost of sourcing last. So Whatever Fresh would do the opposite. It would actually source first, and then it will create the menu. This ensures that I have the lowest carbon footprint and no shortcuts or compromises on health and tasty food. Now, when you combine that with the second main principle, that of transparency in a membership model. So instead of trying to make a profit through traditional markup strategies, we will offer products at cost. And the idea is that you can actually live a healthy lifestyle, because one of the biggest barriers for a healthy lifestyle is the cost. And so this would be a break-even membership model. As a member, you would get the cost of each individual dish, which will include the cost of goods, the labor and the occupancy costs. And so we would be combining these two things using an app, using possibly blockchain or decentralized or centralized technology. We'll have total transparency of costs. It will be a marketplace for farmers and ranchers. So imagine, as a farmer or a rancher, instead of you buying, selling your products, and having a trade-off of volume versus, profit, you can actually set your own price. And that's because with whatever fresh, we won't be negotiating pricing. We actually don't care what price you set. We're more value on the freshness of your product, the good practices that you have, the quality of your product, and therefore, and that's only because we're able to do the break-even model. So it actually changes the way, restaurants are actually ran and how they are operated. And with me is Chef Martin Weaver to tell us more about Whatever Fresh.
Hey everyone, I'm Chef Martin. So the menu is going to feature a hot farm to table line for building bowls and plates, along with different coffees, juices, smoothies, bone broths, soups. We're going to have a salad bar with open faced sandwiches, and of course, a variety of healthy snacks and desserts for our guests. All right, there we go. Our phase one is going to be our brick and mortar locations that we're going to start with food halls that are growing regionally. We're going to utilizing customer app. The users can find their diets, be it keto, paleo, vegan, or whatever healthy lifestyle they choose to fit their needs. They just have to scan the QR code as you walk through the line. The hot farm to table line is going to be served in a build your own bowl format, Chipotle style, or similar to that of Dig In. The hot food is going to be made in small batches. It's faster than counter service with a better quality than buffets. The meals to go will be available for our guests that have a busier lifestyle, and so that we can utilize the excess food from the farm to table, allowing for zero waste. Next slide. Phase two is we're going to have a nationwide network of participating restaurants that are going to be able to order through our app or website. This makes fresh items made daily or weekly from virtual kitchens all across the country available to our guests. We're going to have certified Whatever Fresh kitchens, and they're going to have to utilize the Whatever Fresh pantry products, ensuring transparency with the local vendors utilizing our app. Kitchens will also have their own ratings on our network to ensure the Whatever Fresh standards. Available items are going to differ through the geographical regions, Whatever Fresh locally.
Thanks, Martin. And then we also have For All Humans, which is basically our health, wellness, and COVID-19 startup incubator. The idea is that we are recruiting other businesses in our field to relocate into an opportunity zone to qualify for possible funding. Some cool businesses that we're talking to right now is a scientist who's making a wearable, kind of like the beat, what was it called? The earphones for sound healing. And we're also talking to another doctor who's doing stem cells and regenerative therapies for Madonna and Shaquille O'Neal. And so there will be a real estate element to our fund, basically to help us remain compliant, as some of our models include franchising across the country. And so we would, we would actually own and purchase property inside zones, and anything that happens to fall outside of zone would be a franchise. And that wraps up our presentation. We had to throw together something really quick. Thanks, Jimmy, for allowing us to do this. We wanted to just get our fund up. In 2 days, our actual portal will be available for funding. You can reach us at my number, 713-398-7697, or email me at Company of Nomads, and our website is nomadicoz.com.
Awesome. Thank you, On. And I just posted the link in the chat pane here. Thank you, Lian, and everybody else. That was really cool how you brought in so many members of your team to present with you today. I really appreciate it. We don't have time to get to questions, unfortunately. We're running a little bit over, but I'll forward any questions that came in onto you, and hopefully you can get to them offline at a later date. Thank you very much, An. I do appreciate it.
Thank you.